This is the parish church in Windsor, as in Windsor Castle. We have cutesy pubs and nice flowers. Nice flowers here too. I would say this house is a bit crooked, and it turns out its name is the Crooked House of Windsor. But here is the big castle. It was started by William the Conqueror shortly after he conquered England in 1066. Here we have Queen Victoria. And the castle goes way on up there and around the corner. Well, they put this clock here, I guess, in 1897. We'll see what's down here in the royal shops. So at one time this was the train station, and they've turned it into a shopping mall where you can get the shuttle bus for Legoland Windsor. Here's the old train. Actually, the train still comes here. All these people are waiting to get on board. So this is the old train concourse. Now we're down along the Thames. Overhead is a big plane leaving from Heathrow, like we will be doing in the morning. And look at all the ducks and the swans. Kids are feeding them. Had a great idea. He suggested we take a 40-minute boat ride on the Thames. And so that's what we're going to do.
There's a tariff attached to the custom comment card for our full range on offer. We have special promotions from time to time, so please ask about these. For instance, 2 or more of you may wish to all slipways of the Jacob's Yard.
And sail up and down the river. Well,
as we head up past Brockus Meadows to our right, some of the former Windsor resident whose house stands a few hundred yards beyond. This plane remained in RAF service for 50 years until 2010, and it is still flown by the US Marines as the AV-8B. More of which will become visible as we proceed further upstream. Racing began here at Windsor in 1866 and continues on to this day with Monday evening meetings throughout the summer. Windsor Racecourse is unique in that it's situated entirely on an island. It's called Ray's Island, and it's the largest on the Upper Thames, being just under 2 miles long. The only Thames island longer than this one is Canvey Island, down in the tidal Thames.
Through the trees here is the Royal Windsor Racecourse.
In the distance, it was here that the boys of Eton College used to come for their swimming lessons in the days before they had their own pool. Just below the bench there's a stone block with a plaque on the front. On the reverse side of this stone block is an inscription telling the boys to remain submerged or hidden behind bushes when boats passed with ladies on board. As in those days the boys used to swim naked in the style of the ancient Greeks, hence the name Athens.
Evidently the fishing is quite good along the Thames. The birds are after it, and there's a couple fishermen.
The Thames is 215 miles long from source to sea, and 191 miles of this is navigable. This is largely due to the locks and weirs, which regulate the downhill flow of water along the Upper Thames, keeping it at a more or less constant level throughout the year. This ensures a safe depth for navigation, as well as helping to reduce the risk of flooding during wet weather. The weir is ahead of us now, and it is this that does the main job of controlling the flow of water into this reach, a reach being a stretch of river between 2 locks. The weir is constructed from a series of gates across the main channel of the river, acting a bit like a dam, and it's by individually raising or lowering these gates that the lock keepers are able to control the flow of water in accordance with recent rainfall.
And here's some more young men of Eton out practicing their rowing skills.
at any one time still has 70 King's Scholars, as they are known, in honour of the college's origin. There are also music, foundation and sixth form scholarships, meaning that at any time there are around 20% of the boys who pay reduced fees and in some cases no fees at all. The college in fact states that no parents with a talented boy should feel that Eton is necessarily beyond their means, dispelling the myth that only the very rich can aspire to sending their sons to Eton. The college has a fond association with King George III, who spent much of his 60-year reign at Windsor Castle and visited Eton often. The Wednesday following Maybank holiday is a holiday in honour of his birthday on the 4th of June and is marked with speeches and a procession of boats along the river. Old Etonians include members of the royal family, most recently Princes William and Harry, as well as 19 of our Prime Ministers. This forms part of Clewer village. This is the oldest part of Windsor, as there was a Saxon settlement on this site before the time of the Norman conquest. The present town of Windsor started to develop after 1070, when William the Conqueror first built Windsor Castle. Ahead of us now is Queen Elizabeth Bridge, the relief road to the right of which marks one of the boundaries of Clewer with the rest of Windsor. This bridge was completed in 1966 and joins Windsor up with the M4 motorway.
I would say that's the Eton Boathouse.
Fortress, choosing this site for its all-round defensibility with views up and down the Thames Valley, enabling him to guard the western approaches into London. Prior to the Norman conquest, Edward the Confessor had held court at the Royal Manor at Kingsbury in what we now know as Old Windsor, until his death in January 1066. The proximity to the River Thames was no doubt the prime reason for choosing the area, the waterway being the main highway to London to the east. In addition, the extensive Windsor Forest offered excellent hunting and William chose to live there until his death in 1087, of which Windsor is undoubtedly the finest. The site was chosen for its height, some 100 feet above the river, and its proximity to other castles that William had constructed. The concept of castles was unknown to the Saxons and was part of William's plan to ensure the permanence of the conquest. On top of the round tower is the all-important flagstaff, indicating whether or not the Queen is in residence. If we see the red, gold and blue royal standard, that means the Queen is in the castle, and when she's not here, the Union flag is flown. The name of Windsor derives from Windle Sora, or winding shores, where boats were pulled by windlass or winches up the river. It has also been thought that the name derives from winding in the sense of meandering shores. As we approach the end of our trip today, we see Windsor Bridge coming into view ahead of us. There is light following the construction of the castle. There are records showing that in 1242 permission was granted for oak trees to be felled in Windsor Forest for the purpose of constructing a new bridge between Windsor and Eton. This bridge stood until 1819, when after damage and deterioration a replacement bridge was decided upon. The architect Sir Charles Hollis designed the bridge you see here today, using cast iron with buttresses of granite. The current bridge was completed in 1824.
This is looking on downstream, where our tour boat didn't go. It looks very nice. This is just across the bridge from Windsor Castle. I assume this is still Windsor, and we are still under the flight path leaving the airport. We ended up at this French brasserie, and it was excellent for dinner, even though they gave us a view right there of a bare wall, and there were other tables, but they were fully booked. Just found that this side of the Thames is Windsor, and there is a Windsor Castle. And then you go across the bridge, the Windsor and Eton Bridge, and then you are in Eton.